So the mid-season premiere of The Flash Season 3 was actually a pretty good episode of The Flash, and I was surprised because if you've been watched my previous Flash reviews, I have criticized Season 3 a lot for its repetitiveness and its sort of derivativeness from the previous seasons of the show. I really think that The Flash has been struggling in Season 3. It's had some good episodes and some good standout performances by actors, but it hasn't been as compelling as Season 1 or even Season 2. But this episode, Season 3, Episode 10, is entitled Borrowing Problems from the Future. And basically, this episode starts off with Iris and Barry in bed together, and Barry keeps having these nightmares about Iris dying. Of course, when he went into the future, he saw this future in which Iris died, and he couldn't prevent her death. So, this whole episode, Barry's trying to avoid capturing this villain with a gun. I think his name's I believe it's, what is it, the Plunderer. He tries to avoid capturing the Plunderer because if he feels like if he captures him, and that's the news headline in the future, then Iris will die. And so he's taking out his aggression on everybody else. And it's not that Barry's plot or Barry's sort of arc in this episode is bad. It's just that it gets sort of repetitive, like. But what this episode does do great, what is phenomenal about this episode is Barry doesn't wait to tell everybody about, the future he saw. He gets it out. He basically, after Harry opens the museum and they have a talk, Barry tells everybody that there's this future and he's afraid it's going to happen if he captures them. So the whole team gets together in this group meeting and they say, hey, we're going to try to change these events we see in the future so Iris doesn't die. And how they do that is Cisco and Barry vibe to Barry's experience in the future, and they record all the news headlines. So it sets up the second half of The Flash Season 3 to be actually pretty compelling because we'll be able to see them trying to prevent all these different events that have already happened in the timeline in which Iris dies. And so but at the end of the episode, the first thing they change, of course, is Wally captures this villain. And this alters the future a little bit. And so, basically, this season is going to be interesting, this latter half of the season, because they're going to be trying to go through and, change these events that seem destined to happen to try to save Iris and try to race against the clock, which is a cool concept. The only other notable things to mention, of course, Harry opened the museum, and Julian joined the group, joined Team Flash. Now, this episode was propelled by a few good performances, or actually quite a few good performances. I really like Tom Cavanaugh. If you've looked at my other reviews, you know that Tom Cavanaugh is my favorite part of the Flash. Whether he's playing Harry, whether he's playing Harrison Wells, whether he's playing HR. Tom Cavanaugh plays all versions of Harrison Wells so wonderfully, and he's so funny in this episode. Every scene with him is a laugh, and every scene is a giggle, and I love every scene with him in it. I'm actually Julian's growing on me. I know a lot of people think he's a throwaway character for Season 3, but I felt like he had some great character development, especially with Caitlin this episode, and he sort of seems like he's going to find a place with Team Flash, and I'm really happy about that. And I'm kind of happy that they sort of shoved that alchemy plot underneath. But at the same time, there's some strong emotional moments between him and Caitlin discussing, how they had regrets of things they did when they weren't under their own control, So it was great to see that. I'm really not digging the whole Barry and Iris dynamic because it seems like it's taking over the show, and I understand that relationships do not work well on CW superhero shows. You look at Arrow Season 3, Arrow Season 4, both those seasons crashed and burned because they focused too much on Oliver and Felicity. And I feel like if Season 3, I understand why they're going this route with it, but I hope that the whole preventing Iris's death aspect doesn't distract from the action or the plot of the whole entire season. But it will be interesting to see where they go with that, and I really think they could go to good places. This is a good episode to sort of restore my faith in the Flash a little bit, but there were issues. So for a final score for The Flash Season 3, Episode 10, Borrowing Problems from the Future, I'd have to give it a 8.0 out of 10. Do you disagree with that score? Do you agree with that score? Comment below. Remember to like and subscribe for more. This has been Jonesy from Jonester TV, signing off.